Hello, good afternoon to anyone who's watching. This is going to be episode 4 or part 4 on the corrupt justice system in the US and maybe around the globe. So at this point, I've been talking about stuff that is supposedly liberal stuff, right? Well, today, or in this video, it's going to be about the right side of stuff. Gun laws. That's supposedly a right side issue, right? The truth is, anything I talk about is not about right or left. It's about dictatorship. That's it. It's about too many laws we have. But to get into gun laws. So we have our Second Amendment, right? Rights to defend ourselves. Okay. Rights to defend ourselves. But then we have an issue of too much regulation. In some states, the gun laws are so strict that it's nearly impossible to get a gun. But if you're able to get a gun, you might get it illegally. But you might get a gun because you want to defend yourself. So, for example, if law enforcement has stop and frisk, for example, they will search you without reason. In other words, cops will stop and frisk you because they feel like it, to have a quota. So if you have a gun in your pocket, you're going to go to jail or prison for it if you don't get it through the proper way. Remember, we're Second Amendment. We have a right to have a gun to defend ourselves. And if it's impossible to get a gun and you want one to defend yourself, well, you might get it, in the black market. But if you get searched, you have the gun, you get charged for it. Or not just stop and frisk. If a cop traffic stops you over, one of the lights don't work. But then for whatever reason the cop wants to search your car, he's gonna see you have a gun, and he'll still charge you for the gun possession. It's completely bogus. Again, we're Second Amendment. Let me take it a step further. It's also true that if you defend yourself with a gun and you legally have it, you're fine with that. But if you defend yourself with it, you could still be charged with attempted murder. And guess what happens? You go to jail, and you're still in jail because you haven't had your court date yet. So we have an issue of self-defense. You're charged with attempted murder, and you've been in jail for nearly a year because you're waiting for your court date. See how screwed up this justice system is, or how screwed up law enforcement is? It's like the Second Amendment, it's a smoke screen. It's a complete smoke screen. Or, God forbid someone breaks into your home, you know, because you're in the home, and then, or you enter your home, and then they leave your home, your house. You use your gun to shoot them, but they're outside your property. You're charged with murder. It depends, or attempted murder. It depends on the state you live in. But here's the truth. Second Amendment. Gun rights. Or if you enter in a government facility with a gun and it's prohibited, you violated a law. But here's the thing, again, my issue is too many gun laws. We either have a Second Amendment or just ban guns at that point. Just ban guns then. If we have so many gun laws, just ban the gun. If we're up to me, I would only legalize two kinds of guns, the handgun and the hunting rifle, and that's it. I would ban other guns. But that is beside the point. The main point is so many gun laws. That's the main point. This topic is another example of dictatorship. Another example of a country that's not really free. It's less free, not more. I think I'm going to wrap up shortly, but I want to mention one more thing. I know in my videos I purposely repeated myself on words. That could be annoying, but I did it on purpose. However, I will try to be less repetitive in these videos. But I really want to get my point across. In my view, it could be the truth. Half the nation doesn't realize that law enforcement, they could do whatever they want. Half the nation don't know that. The other half know that. Here's the other question though. The half of the nation that knows how corrupt law enforcement is or the justice system is, I don't know if they realize it. So in other words, I've been talking up to this point. I had my intro, I talked about meth, I talked about gun laws. But a lot of us who know how bad the justice system is, we keep living our lives partly because we don't have power to change the system. All we could do is talk to our politicians, but I mean, the Uniparty, which I'll get into later in the future, they don't really care, man. It'll take a lifetime to change the law or update it, unless the overall population is unless the overall population has an issue with something. It could be policy or something political or something social. Then the politicians will have to look into it. But if we're not, as a population, if we're not fighting for something, it is what it is. And that's sad. The flaw of the Second Amendment, it's not realized, but the flaw of the Second Amendment is gun violence, right? That's it. That's the flaw of it. Can't deny that. But it doesn't mean you stop and frisk someone if they have a gun in their pocket, because you don't know why they have the gun. More importantly, you're not supposed to stop and frisk someone because you feel like it. That's anti-freedom. Remember that. And then the traffic stop. If you charge someone because their car light doesn't work or whatever, and then you charge them for gun possession, it's like, and you charge them for gun possession because they didn't get it legally, or because they have a bogus felony of meth, let's say, and they have the gun anyway. It's like, this is what I mean. It's just too much. It's too much law enforcement. The laws are too harsh. If you're going to charge them for the no light not working, that's it. That's all you need to charge them with. And if you have a problem with, people having guns, it's the Second Amendment. We have it, right? You don't know why the guy has a gun or a girl has a gun. He or she could have it for self-defense. You don't know. That's the purpose of the Second Amendment, right? All right, so this will wrap up. Stay tuned for part 5, episode 5. That's going to be about marijuana. Stay tuned for that. If one person in the world has watched this video, I say thank you. The US is a dictatorship. That's the truth. One of the reasons why is because of the corrupt justice system. I wish you a good holiday, depending on when you watch the video. I just simply wish you a good day. And sayonara.